A lot going on this morning. A lot we got to cover, man. A lot I've been seeing on social media at this. Sometimes you got to take a break from that stuff. So everybody, just huddle up, huddle up. We got a lot to talk about. Did you guys hear about the canceled music festival in Atlanta that they have every year? See, Atlanta's starting to wake up and think about their peoples because they knew at that festival there was going to be guns involved, and this probably was going to be one of the biggest tragedies in Atlanta. So they just canceled it. It's just the energy of today. I'm sorry, you guys, for my lateness. I was doing a lot. I got a lot to do. You know, when you have a clothing brand, there is so much that people don't understand that goes into it. Just building it, and you guys take a look, man. After this live is over, I'm gonna leave the link right under, and you guys can check out the brand. Scoop you up something for the weekend, something for the I have t-shirts, beanies, hats. I have everything inspired by Dreamzzz shop. That's three Z's at the end of Dreamzzz shop. So yeah, so as we see it, Drake House has been a target for just break-ins. I feel like his celebrity is what is warranting all this, and you know, when you're a celebrity, it's certain things that you have to prepare yourself for, just as far as, you know, dealing with the public, and how you deal with the public can be something that can alter your life if you're not used to that type of lifestyle or get used to that type of lifestyle. Sometimes it could be crazy fans. Sometimes these are things that you have to kind of implement in your music before you even get to the point of there, so people will know how to approach you. If they feel like because of your music they can approach you anyway or climb your fence or do whatever, I feel like these are the things that will go on, especially with a lot of celebrities. It's not just Drake. I'm pretty sure that just a lot of celebrities have been dealing with a lot of break-ins. They just don't want to tell more people about. Some people might feel like because other people will want to break in, or so they just don't want people knowing their business. But in these times, I feel like people's privacy is getting invaded way too much than I would have thought that, you know, it should be, because in, I guess, in these places, there's only so many places you can live as far as, you know, like as far as status, and it's looking like that the connection between celebrity and just outsiders are getting closer and closer. People feeling like they could just run up on people's house and things like that. This all comes from just being misguided people, mentally ill people, and people just thinking, just making the wrong decisions. So, you know, I haven't really listened. I don't know if there's new songs that came out between Drake and Kendrick. I'm pretty much me myself, kind of like over it. But I felt like people's energy is so, people get their energy up for so much negativity that that's the only way they know how to get their energy up is for negativity. So today I just wanted to let people know there's other ways of taking your energy up on some positive energy, so you won't have to feel this impact of whatever happens at the end and the outcome of these situations. And yeah, that's just that part, because I just feel like, and another thing I wanted to talk to you guys about today is relationships, man. I'm seeing that I hear a lot of people talking about the Shawnee O'Neal and Shaq, and how she wrote a book, and in the book she was explaining that she don't feel like she was really in love with Shaquille O'Neal. Well, what did I tell you guys? True love, first, the first thing is comes from a feeling. Anything else, if you like have to set yourself and say, you know what, I'm just gonna try this out, then it's not really true love. If you're looking for somebody else for what their status or their money or anything like that, eventually when you get with that person, as time goes on, that love is gonna decrease because you never really had it in your heart. You just had it in your mind. There's two different things, and that's not to you know, shame anybody, because you could get in a relationship with anybody and it just doesn't work out. But the way it was said and the way it was taken is that, you know, a lot of times women might chase basketball players and thinking that it might be something, and it turns out to be something else. And in this case, if just because they're relationships, I'm pretty sure that, you know, Shaquille, you had so many different, at that time he had so many different women. So maybe some chicks are not really as expected. They don't expect that to happen too. That the guy that you're chasing, you know, there's a whole bunch of other girls chasing, and that just leaves opportunity around that player. So you're not just going to be the only one. But if you happen to be the only one, you have to make sure that inside you actually love that person. So you'll have a longer relationship and a lifetime relationship. That's it. Good morning, good morning, good vibes, good vibes. All my dreamers and dreamettes, it's Friday. We made it, y'all. God bless you guys. You should be just happy. Friday's here. We made it. We're going into a beautiful weekend in NYC. The weather's, but we're going to make it happen. We're going to make it happen. If the weather is a little dull, you take your spirit and you brighten it with that. Add that to that, and it brightens the place up. It illuminates the place. So that's what we on today. We're not on no sad stuff. We on some happy. You got to be happy, man, regardless. If you're a clothing brand and you made a sale yesterday, you made a sale today. If you even if you didn't, just prepare yourself for the sale tomorrow. You understand? Get your mind focused on the good things about life, not the stuff that's going to be pulling you down and messing your mind up. Try to keep that out of your mind. Like today, I was a little late because I had a lot of things piled up to do, and sometimes time gets on top of you, or time gets in front of you, and you just want to get your space back. You want to gain your position back, and that's what I'm doing. I'm grabbing my position back. I'm using my time for better things, and I'm going to keep my mental as clear as I can, even though the outside distractions are coming around me. And I have a message to somebody in particular, one of my friends. I don't want to put people's names out there, but I see what you're going through, and you know, God has a way of working things out for us. Sometimes tragedies happen in our lives that we have no explanation for, and we don't know how to explain it. But the only thing we can do is keep moving on and keeping those good memories with us, and we build off of those memories so that the people that we encounter and the things that happen to us in the next day and in front of us, we know how to take that better, and we know how to, our taking is what's it all about. Not all the time about your energy pushing it out. It's all about what you take in, because that becomes your energy. So, if you're going through something and any family issues and you're just asking God, why does this happen to me? And you always got to remember, why not you? You can make it through this. You can make it through this. We all have hurdles to jump, and we all have things that try to jump in front of our way, but it doesn't necessarily mean that we have to stop at that point. We just got to keep going, do what we have to do, get up, make things work, make things happen with a smile. Come back and work even harder on yourself. You might not have the whole day like everybody, or the whole day like people do to do what they have to do, or go for their dreams. But you might have maybe an hour carved out in the day or on the weekend that you can maybe carve out for yourself. Why not take that time out and find something to better yourself? Whether it be you're looking for a better placement in a job, or you might just want to look into some ventures or be an entrepreneur. These are the times where you have to carve out that time for yourself and make room for yourself. Especially if you're a writer, and you want to do poetry or anything like that. There's so much space open on YouTube for poetry, that you can put it in so many different forms and grab the crowd. And if you do anything like that, hit me up. I will gladly support your page. Because a lot of people have a mindset of, oh, I got to get here, I got to get there, and they don't even know where they're going. Me, I have structure to my life. And I'm not saying it's all the way set up and it's in stone. But what I do is, as far as like just, not letting things distract me, I try to keep my mind on the things that I love all the time. Now, there's going to be some times where things just get in the way of that. Like, for example, when the Drake and Kendrick thing, when they were beefing back and forth, my mind was already set on something else I was working on, my clothing brand, and just thinking about things that I can upgrade for the summer. But being that that was all over the place and I was in people's face, yes, I'm gonna see what's going on. Or even on the tragedies on the news, the 14-year-old and the 16-year-old getting killed. Those are things that sometimes you just can't avoid. Now, if you're in a place where you don't want to hear that type of stuff because you might have dealt with tragedy, or you're dealing with trauma now, you can always block that stuff out. It's not gonna hurt you to block it out. But when they're in your face, I kind of like to try to see to bring the best of light out of those situations. Now, in all these problems that we're seeing in today's society, two things, three things actually: sex, drugs, and guns. Now, when it comes to the guns, I'm seeing more and more younger kids with the guns. It's not like, because the older you get, the more you become more of aware of what's going on and the repercussions of this. The younger you are, you don't know, everything that you're doing is what you see, what you're duplicating. You're on your intake stages, you're on your learning stages, and you're learning the wrong things. So you're going out with a gun, and people have emotions. These emotions come from, it could be a girlfriend that you're dating at a young age. I know I was dating from a young age. So it could be a girlfriend, and you don't know how to handle that emotion, and you grab a gun, and now what's going to happen? You didn't realize maybe 40, 50, 60 years later when you're in jail, and you realize, wow, you missed out on all that time, all that development. There's no way you can come back out into society and be productive. There's no way at all. And that's not to be a disrespectful thing for the people that go to prison and try to make us themselves into something when they come out. But it's just saying that's how hard it is in society. If the people that didn't go to prison are out here and they're working hard to make things work, what makes you think you can come from prison and then get ahead of those people? Now, things can happen, anything can happen. But if you're looking at just, just weighing it out, it's not going to work for you. Stop doing the things that's going to land you in jail. Stop doing the things that's going to erupt your mental, or think about somebody, or be jealous of somebody. Trust me, when you get off of that stuff, you don't get jealous at anybody. I'm not like a jealous person, but I can guarantee you that when I see other people having good things and what people deem to be, made it doesn't bother me a bit. It doesn't. Not one bit, because you never know in these times. It's just like you wanted $1 billion, and you was like, I want to be like Diddy, and all this time, and then you, boom, you find out the things he had to do. Well, it's really none of your business the things he had to do. It's you understanding that you have your own things to do, and whatever that leads you, and whatever amount that gets you, that's yours. That's what God set out for you, not what somebody else has. Because think about it, if somebody else has that, they already have that. It's not going to be a big deal if there's another person with the same thing. You're a big deal. We're all a big deal. When we find who we are as a person and we start bringing that to other people, that's when people communicate with you. That's when people can actually feel your authentic self. Not when you fake to be this type of person and then later on somebody finds out that you're not. All of that stuff is just a bunch of foolishness. We don't need any foolishness going into 2025. We had so much of it, especially in this year. You see so many people just doing silly stuff, and they're like grown adults. It's either they're like, I've seen grown adults that can't read, and I also seen like rich kids that can't count. So it doesn't matter your status. It's all about you as a person, the people around you, and how you intaking this information. That's what it's all about. These kids out there look like they don't have no religion attached to them or anything, and I'm pretty sure their parents don't have any religion attached to them. It's definitely a rewiring that we need in society, or innocent people is going to get hurt. Just not even, they don't have to, you don't have to be doing anything, and somebody just comes along and feels a certain way about you, and boom, you're on the 9 o'clock news. We have to really take these steps to, if you're a person that you can help somebody, or teach somebody about something, or build something with somebody, give it a shot. Because there's so many people out here that's just looking for some way of these little, I would say, these little success points, and they're going the wrong way. They're going the wrong routes. They see a lot of people on the news, people snatching and taking. That is not the energy you're supposed to be on. It's building, building, building is the energy you're supposed to be on. Even if you don't get along with a whole bunch of people. Nobody says you have to go out there and just meet a whole bunch of people. That's not really how it works. You can help somebody from a distance. Help them by just pushing their word forward. Helping them by just, it doesn't have to be something, it doesn't have to be a dollar amount you have to pay somebody. It could just be you repping them, or you just getting involved in the same things they're doing, building with the same. It doesn't always have to be, oh, you have to exchange of money, because sometimes I understand, even as a fashion designer, I understand that not everybody has it to support in you know, in a certain way. And I do understand that if I do see somebody go to the mall and spend their last on like whatever biggest label, that they're just being misguided because they want themselves to fit into a certain status they see themselves as, or people would want people to see them as. I get that. So I don't shame that, because it takes a lot of it takes a lot of wisdom, it takes a lot of learning, a lot of research to understand that that type of stuff doesn't, you know, really matter. People, it's kind of like people saying, um, you can't, like, when you're like rich doesn't bring rich being rich doesn't bring you happiness. And then there are people combating that, like, no, I'm happy and I have money. I'm really, really happy and I have money. But what people don't understand, the person already had that happiness before they got rich. And that's why being rich for them is the best. If you don't have happiness before you get to that point, that's usually where you crash, because it's not like a store you can buy happiness. You have to have the happiness in here. And to me, the more happy I am, the more money I make. I never It was always the opposite. Like, the more negativity and stuff, I never make money off of negativity. Never in my life. I've never made money off of negativity. It's always been something that I feel strong about. I put my heart into it. I work for it. I might not reach the where I thought I would reach, but I always get some kind of results that says, "Dang, that was worth it." And that's really all you need in society, especially nowadays, because people, they have this, like, it's programmed in you to have this, like, I want to be a millionaire. But the truth about it is, you don't have to be the biggest of millionaires to actually live a happy life. What you really want to say is, you want a constant certain amount of money coming in where you can actually sit on it, buy things that you want to do for your family, do for your peoples, and that money keep coming in. That's where we're at. It's not to say, oh, I want $1 billion. We as regular people, we know what all of that comes with. It comes with attention. It comes with people in your pocket. We just want to sustain our money. So we're at the point where I feel like this summer, there is so much opportunity for everybody to just get their minds right, and I'm gonna help you along the way. I'm gonna help you. Like, if you wanna build a food truck, or you wanna get a food truck business going, I will do the research. I will check it out, because I'm very good at breaking things down and just finding out the core things that you guys need to get there. Because I know two people with food trucks, so that's a plug. You got to list up all the things in your head, the things that your people's got, the things that they do, and things that can help people and bring people together. And you become the person that's just organizing things, and you're sitting there organizing things, and in a minute you don't realize that people are going to come to you for things that they need done. And you build this aura around yourself when you be still keep yourself honest. Don't No matter how many people are lying to you on social media, you stay honest. Stay honest. Stay honest. You watch and see. Those people, eventually the covers will be blown from all those people. Just like I told you what will be going on now, eventually that will happen to those people. Eventually people won't have their minds so much stuck on money. People are fighting for love right now. I'm telling you they are. People are fighting for love. People are waking up and looking next to their partner and realizing, this ain't the person I want to be with. And I got to get out of here, but I just don't know how to. I don't knock nobody for not wanting to find. People want to try to find their true love no matter what. Because let me tell you something. People like to always point at the ladies and say, you know, these ladies are out for the money. This It's not always true. That's not necessarily true. A lot of ladies, they just want love. They just Girls just want a lot of love, man. I'm gonna tell you the truth. They might want that little extra. They want their man to be a millionaire. That's just like you want your girl to be this and that. That's no problem. But if he got love and the love is strong for them, they ain't going nowhere. They ain't going nowhere. And that's just how life works. So it takes you as a person. So when you meet that point, you have some extras to give them. You know, you have some extras to surprise them with. Make her feel like she's more than just a queen. She's the person that's going to stand for the name that we're trying to build. Or, you know, it has to be that in your mind. You have to want companionship before you just want the sex. Because the sex is going to come. But the companionship, how you two gel, is what's going to make a relationship last long. Trust me, when people tell you about, oh, whose sex is better, this and that, ladies, to me, if you want, coming from a man, and you wanna ask a man, what's the difference between mine and hers? Let me tell you, ladies, it's not really about a feeling. Sometimes it could get like that depending on the two people you're comparing. But usually it's how that person makes them feel, how the sex is going between them. It's always like how the bond, the tighter the bond, the more a guy would say this is better. So if you and your man is arguing and he goes off and cheats with another girl, he's gonna go for a girl that is gonna be more listening or more at what was taken out of that situation. You understand? That's what people. It's a bounce. Love is almost like a bounce, where you bounced here because you didn't know that you was gonna fall in love, and it's not the person you want. So you bounce here, and you realizing the little things that you're bouncing off of. Those are the things that you want in one person instead of all these people. And you find that by just being your true authentic self. Who you are as a person will draw that person to you. If you stay in one place, you'll only be drawn to that community of people. But the more you get out there, the more you do the things you love. Like, let's say you love making towels. You want to make some bathroom towels. And you start selling black and white towels. And now you find a guy that he owns hotels. And he invests into your towels. You find your love in the things that you love doing. Like if right now if I said I want to find a female that I possibly have a chance of marrying and spending a longer time with than just a regular girlfriend, then I'm not gonna just go out there and look for somebody that's in the club or on the gram shaking it. I'm gonna look at people in places of work, in places of where I can find women that are more drawn to guys that have it up here than in their pocket, because you could always tell when a female is into you or they're into what you're wearing or into your mind or into. You got to break it down with people. You got to know how to conversate with people and get back in society and mingle with people and understand what they want, what they see in life, and what their parents brought them up to be. What religion are they? What do they study? Have they been here in school? Why? Have you been into a car accident? Anything. You have to find these things out before you start saying, I'm going to dump all my love on her. Because you never know in these times. You never know. You never know. Looking at a celebrity relationship, you're going to go down. Your relationship is not going to work. It's not going to work. Celebrity relationships don't work because they're not just dating each other. They're dating the whole world. The whole world's in their relationship. So while they're in bed having sex, everybody's just looking over them like, no, to the left, to the right, to the no, 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 no. Put her leg up. See, you don't know how to have good sex. That is what celebrity relationships feels like. Everybody's just in your business. You don't need that. The true love is when you two guys can go hide somewhere, go run in the park somewhere, get your wiggle on somewhere else where nobody knows, just you two. I don't care if you have nowhere to go and you just go to the hotel, y'all set up your little thing, and every now and then you guys meet here. You will have a longer love than these people out here with this fake love. Trust when I tell you that. Trust when I tell you that. Don't let nobody tell you no different. There's women out here very open and ready for love. It's just that the women that's shaking and doing all this other stuff are blocking them. You can't really even see them because as you get to look, there's a behind in your face. You're like, excuse me, can you stop shaking? I'm trying to get to, and you can't. She's gone. She's gone. It's Friday. It's time to love somebody, or it's time to find your love magnet, the person that loves you. It's time to find your connection. Forget all of this fighting and who's better than who makes more money than who. Love on the people that's in love with you. That's what we on. We trying to find our best partners. We trying to find our best selves. We trying to revive our best thoughts, our best person, and that's how we gonna present ourselves. Even for this summer, that's how we all gonna present ourselves. We gonna present our best person instead of presenting the person that we thought you guys would have wanted. No, this is actually me. This is how I am. This is me. If you don't like it, it's a take it or leave it. That's what it's all about. Because the more you fake it and you go into a relationship, your true self is gonna come out eventually. It is what it is. People don't understand. They're out here. I see a lot of things going on, and this is another thing I want to tell you guys. When you disturb somebody's peace, if you see some people having a good time and they're peaceful and they're doing their thing, don't go over there and mess with them people. Because when you disturb somebody's peace, it brings death into your life. You understand? If you disturb somebody's peace, everything else besides peace is a destruction. That's gonna enter into your life. You don't want to bring these things. Don't open your door to that stuff. Don't open your door to negativity. I keep my door closed from all negativity. I'm talking about even if somebody wanted to try to get with me or a female wanted to get with me, it would take an extra 2 steps. It would take a little extra 2 steps to have to prove that no, I'm serious about this. I want to try to. Okay, cool. Now that because trust is at an all-time low, and who there is no, back in the day you could always look up to, like, there's no couples out here really you could look up to. Now there are some good couples, but they're not couples that they're laying out like any layout of, oh, we did this or we did that. Most likely when we do see couples on social media, it's usually at the breaking point. Am I lying? Am I lying? It's usually at the breaking point when we see couples on social media. And it's kind of like, that's only showing people how to deal with things when they get bad. But let's show people how to deal with it to make it better. Instead of, and people say this whole thing, oh, when you get married, it's like it's a deal breaker. Not really. Because there's a whole time before you get married to getting to know that person. Now, you mean to tell me that you didn't know that person all the way up to that time? Like, it's just she turned into like some, or he turned into like just a deal breaker after you put on the ring? No. You guys haven't, the bond wasn't tight enough for you guys to lock it. The bond has to be tight before you lock it, before you lock it down. Some people they just keep it locked because they just have a baby, but that ain't always the best way thing to do. That's not always the best thing to do. Eventually, you guys are gonna want more out of each from each other. And that's right. Now in the Bronx, you see the kids. I heard some, the lady on the news. I don't know if you've seen it, and it said, the kids in the Bronx. It was speaking about just the schooling, and they're treating the kid that they're saying that like they don't even know what computers are. It's not the fact that they don't know what computers are. It's the fact that the way they're being looked at between all that violence, and they're like, there's no way they're going to school. Look at the violence. So having an unsafe environment, having an unsafe learning school, just the environment around, yeah, there's gonna be, if it was in a safer environment, there would be more kids at a higher grade level or a higher level of thinking if it was a safer environment. The unsafe the environment, the teachers are not gonna even want to come. So when you see people saying, oh, they might not even know about computers, it's not, they're saying that is how that environment, it's the overall. Come on, you got to actually really sit down with these kids, and you realize they're smarter than you think they are. They hurt. Those little kids are hurt down there. People think just because they're kids they can't be hurt. As a little kid, I was hurt too. When my mom separated and when my dad, they separated, that hurts you. It hurts because you don't understand as a kid. You don't get it. You don't have the type of mental to take it all in. Oh, that's mom, that's dad. What's going on? So when you see, and especially with social media, the reason why we had a gap and this wasn't happening as is because of social media. Now social media, while you thinking the kids are looking on there for other things, they're comparing parents and they're hearing other parents and what other parents are doing for their kids, and it's breaking their hearts because they don't have their dad or their mom in the background like that other kid. And don't you think that hurts as a little kid? Think for them now. Don't think as an adult. Go back in time some bit. for the people that been through it. Go back in time and you be that little kid that has to go out there and don't really have his dad like that, but you out there trooping it. You make it to school and then you see the other kids, they pops drop them off. You see their father drop him off. You take a look up, you see that's his father, and you just keep going in. Eventually, you know what that. Come on, let's think for those kids before they go pick up a gun. Try to think for them and why they hurt like that. Try to get some resolution. And if you don't know how to fix it, tell them the truth then. Tell them the truth then. If it comes to that point, God bless you. Tell them the truth. You and your father broke up. Break it down for them. If you feel like they don't understand, give it a shot. They might understand. They might understand. They might could get it. But just leaving it blank and letting them go on their own, and they have to experience other kids, and they're seeing other kids progress in different ways, and with parents out there and things like that, that can be harmful to them. That can be harmful to their mindset. Don't you know the person that comes into class and you might think might be the dumbest because he's not doing anything in his grades and he's getting D's and F's, that might could be the smartest kid. That might could be the same kid to change the world. And he might not be that dumb. He might not feel like doing it because he has other things on his head. I've seen this all the time. Don't be confused and think that kid might not be the one to change the world. That kid, he's emotionally driven. That's another thing you got to be smart at. You got to know the kids that can feel their emotions are up high. They can, on a snap of a finger, they'll know if their parents are mad at them. Those are the ones you have to really tend to because they have an emotional attachment to what life is. They don't have just a see for in face value. They have an emotional attachment to life. Those are the creators. Once they grow, God bless them to grow older. Those are the creators. They seen life a little bit different. They didn't think about mom and dad arguing in the kitchen, fighting, fussing and fighting every day. They didn't have that to think about. All they could think about was their imagination and how they didn't want that to happen. But nowadays with social media, the kids are seeing every single thing. So it's hard, when you're facing, you don't want to become the bad person of hiding it from them and they find out on their own because it looks like that falls on you. It looks like everything from that point on, you're going to tell the kid will be a lie. I'm just kicking into you all straight facts. And don't think when you see these kids out there and God forbid you see them on the news and they get hurt, their parents now have a different set of trauma added on to the family. So from this point on, after the news clips go off, the TV turn off, they disappear because they're hurt inside. If they don't go back to seeing who's the next and posting, no, that family is already hit with the trauma. They're hurt. They're off of the scale, and their minds, we don't know where their mind's at. We're just off to the next person with the same tragedy. We can't do that. We can't do that. It's like passing on the trauma, passing on the trauma, passing on the trauma. We can't do that. It's not musical chairs. It's something that it changes your life before you can even get your life started. People don't even know that. These kids they're not giving the kids 5 years, a slap on the wrist, a year here, probation. They're giving 250 years, 50 years, 60 years, 70 years. You could just say trauma, 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 trauma. These are all people that lost their life. You might not look at it, but I look at it as like, oh, you lost your life. You're fighting to get back into society. And you didn't even start in society. You know how hard it is out here? Are you crazy? There's no way. So you're giving your life away to the system just because you don't understand life. And the first pieces of understanding comes from home. So if you don't have a base or a place where you can consider it as your home, I can see you losing it and just doing whatever. That's why we see so many crazy people. They running into Drake's house, and this has everything to do with mental health. Everything that I see in these times right now has something to do with mental health. I see good people. I pray for them to get their minds back to where it once was of love, and then I see bad people just not understanding that the crimes are changing and more criminals are being caught and more cameras, and people are just in this big whirlwind of, it's just like we have to get it right. the scammers are scamming too. I mean, I'm seeing the scammers. They treating the grown folk. They are scamming everybody, and for what? It's not like, I don't understand where people think like, they think like you get $1 million and you just go throw it in your bank and then the world is yours. That's not how it works. It's like you get okay, a good example of it is, remember when Eminem, after in 8 Mile, after he won the battle, and everybody walked outside like, yeah, we did it, yeah, we did it, we're gonna go to a concert, this and that, and was just walking like, nah, I'm still homeless, and my life still goes on. That's kind of like what makes that movie so deep. It's not about what they were saying on the back and forth in the rap battle. It's all about how it was in, like, see, but that was a dream of his to hit that stage. But his dream wasn't just about the rapping. His dream was about the companionship. His how his boys threw the gig at the club, and at the end of the day, he didn't have family that was a steady family. Every time he go home, his mom is sleeping with somebody younger than in his class. So all that trauma around him, what people didn't understand in 8 Mile is the trauma really never left him. The trauma stayed around him. It's just that he had triumph in that one particular part where his heart where served him to be, and that was music. But when he left and the celebration of him winning that battle was over, he still had to deal with his real life surrounded by trauma. That's what 8 Mile was about. It wasn't just necessarily just about hip hop. There's other ways of looking at that movie. It was also about the trauma that a kid has to deal with at a young age, where his mother is young too. She's dealing with other people. He doesn't have a father there, whether he's white or black. He's going through a situation, and in between all of this war and all of this mess, the kid is really good at rhyming. He's really good. He has a great memory, and he's kicking his freestyles, he's really good. He's winning, but every time he goes in that place, he's somebody. But every time he comes out the place, he's nobody. That's what it was about. We have to wake up to see what is going on in this world. It's not about everybody being a king, everybody being a queen. It's about everybody putting in a helping hand to fix and make that crown. I don't care if you're richer than me. Honestly, I'm happy there are more people, or there's more people that's gaining money, because what we're really trying to see is, if there's people not making money, you know how much the world is going to go to war. I'd rather the place be happy and people have a more better chance of making something out of themselves than not have anything or any place to go to. At first it was the kids that didn't have things to do after school, but now it's the adults don't have to do anything. They don't have things to do for adults after work. We have to get this together. Just traveling, hitting the beach, that ain't enough for the human experience. We have to see things change in front of ourselves, in front of our lives. Everybody should experience some kind of change in the world in their lifetime. And if not, that means that we're moving too slow and the world is moving at a different pace. We should be right behind technology, but where are we at? We back a couple years. We still shocked AI could change people's voice and make people. That is so 101. AI is going to be curing diseases and get better medicine, and a safer way of living, and things like that, longer living. These are things that's worth learning. Learning how to put 3 words together to disrespect the next guy next to you is not gonna be sustainable for your life or his. A battle is just a battle. The real battle is life. How you winning? Are you winning in life? Are you helping the other person? Are you somebody that somebody could look up to? If you're not none of that, then beat it. Stop being in the camera and being in all people's face when you have only negative things to bring to it. Sometimes you gotta think about it. If you feeling negative, don't jump on camera. Don't say it. Just don't say it. If somebody call you out, learn how to deal with your situations, your problems. Understand that person calling you out might have problems going on in their life that they have to figure out. You might have figured your problems out, or on your way of figuring it out, and you let these people hold you back. There's nobody better than you. That's the real truth about it all. There's nobody better than me. There's nobody better than you or the person on the side of you. It's all about how you feel about it, though. If you feel like they're better than you, then they'll be better than you. But if you don't feel like they're better than you, and you have something to offer in any situation that might be presented, then you're in the right place. Live your dreams, man. Don't let nobody tell you can't do something, or you ain't good enough, or you ain't cute enough, or that all that type of stuff is made up from one person. It's just like somebody calling somebody, oh, he's fat, he's this and that, and then she's in love with him for who he is. Meanwhile, you calling all these names, and you can't even get yourself a partner because you're too busy looking into the wrong things. You're ready to point out what other people don't have when you start understanding the things you have to offer. I think that's the main thing about hip hop right now. It's all about this, like, what do you have? What do you have? That's not really what it's about. Right now, hip hop should try to find themselves some structure, so in the next few years to come, that they can stand on something. Because right now, the artists that have been presented, like the things that's going on in the industry, it's not looking good. It's not looking good. It's not looking for a good example for the youngins coming up. You think you want the youngins to ask you as an OG when you're trying to knock down their sister? Yeah, but come on, you're not making no sense. You're not making no sense. And for the basketball players, this is like a two-way street when I would say with the basketball players, because I know really, as a basketball player, if you're looking for love, you're supposed to already before you get to college have your lady on, growing with you as you become a better player headed into the NBA. But sometimes it doesn't always work like that. And later on you want to find yourself a wife and somebody that you can build a family with. The first thing you have to understand is it's all about who you are. You don't have to be like the other basketball players that have all the girls around and try to be Mr. Player. No, you have money, and you are more likely to for somebody trying to take that money from you, or you are more likely for a girl just seeing you for that type of money. So you hide that. Don't let people know how much money you have. And even if they know how much money you have, don't let them see you just spending on ignorant stuff, because they feel like if you're spending on ignorant, you why not throw me a little something? Kind of find yourself in a place where when you're putting your money into something or you're investing into something, find people in those places that understand what you're trying to do. Because the more money you have, it's hard for people not to, it's kind of the hard for you to hide it from people and them not see you as that, because people have this perception of, oh, just because he has money he's going to be this certain type of person. No, you are the type of person you are before you had the money or whatever it was. If you're a nice person and you get money, then a whole bunch of people will love to be with you because they know you're a nice person too. Now if you're an a-hole and you get millions of dollars, then people will just deal with you. Like, I'll deal with them. You don't want the people that's just gonna deal with you. And that's the difference. Like, just dealing with somebody is kind of like, I'm just putting up with it. That ain't no real relationship. That ain't no real memories. And you're not gonna get anything good out of that. So I just wanted to bring that relationship part about it, is because you never know who you're gonna fall in love with, or you never know who's gonna fall in love with you. So keep your heart open to that. Once your heart is open to that, and open, it's just like asking questions. Once you're open to that, something will come along. Trust me on that. Don't go looking in the wrong places for this, because it gets dangerous when you're dealing with love and other people's business and other people. Because people online, they fooling people, man. They got their man cheating on them every week. He cheating, but they get up here and they hug up like they're together, and you're like, wow, how do they deal with it? They don't. I don't think they deal with each other when these cameras are off. So that's just another thing I had to say. It's Friday. We got to get our energy up. We have to start carving out a space for ourselves, ourselves. With all that's going on social media, just take an hour off of that, man. Like I told you, when I say get off of social media, it doesn't mean that like you have to turn off social media. No, just like look on Instagram for like things you love, like plants or whatever. Like I wanna look at this. I wanted to show you guys this. I didn't plant it yet, but I have to get the right dirt. Look, get a plant. Get a plant. Get a plant. Get your mind right. Get a little pot. I just gotta get the dirt, and it's gonna grow while we grow. It's not a big deal. Do little things for yourself that can grow around. It doesn't have to be something like it's not gonna grow diamonds or anything. It's gonna grow a plant, and just by that plant growing, as we grow together, you can see progression. Anything you can see progression in front of your eyes always helps your spirit. Trust me. Y'all like the beanies? And plus I got a little. Oh, oh, I had the dreams up. Why y'all ain't telling me to fix? Come on, y'all gotta fix me up. You know, if y'all had something on your face, I'd be like, look, and I'd have got y'all. Why y'all can't get me? Had the dreams blocked out of it. You can't just be inspired. You gotta be inspired by dreams. The things that you have up here, not the things that you see in front of you. You know. We got a few more of these up there. So many colors. I got a little surprise coming up for next week for you guys. Um. So what else? What else? What else is going on and that you wanted me to talk? Oh, yeah, I told you about the Atlanta festival. They canceled that because any of those big concerts. Listen, I know people want to have enjoy themselves, but it's almost like a guarantee that something will happen at the end of that concert or in between that concert that can lead into a big melee of a crowd, and now the whole place is getting sued and things are out of whack. And it's because of the situations of what's going on outside of this, man. A lot of fighting, a lot of war. Um, Drugs. Oh my goodness, drugs. Every in NYC we had so many weed stores that came in after this legalization. Half of these stores weren't legal, and it seemed like everybody jumped on like this whole zombie vibe that I did not like. It's like too many people was high, and that gets scary within itself too. Now, ain't nothing wrong with smoking, but when there's too many people high, I'm not with it. I'm sorry, I don't want to sound like I'm old. Look, listen, man, it is what it is. I just want the better for our society, better for our world. If we have too many people are high, it ain't good. I'm talking about. I don't want to call people out, but like even people in authority is getting high. Like there should be a time for each thing. Working hours or something can't be smoking or something. Work that out because too many weed. And be honest with you, I don't go to none of those shops. Never, never wanted to, and I don't think I never will because when you're dealing with anything like I have to trust a person. I'm still old school and trusting the people that I deal with, and it ain't the way I'm hearing a lot of these places have like fentanyl mixed in there. These are things that you don't want to put yourself in. I'm not into edibles or nothing like that because I always thought to myself, and this is way before all of this happened. I'm like edibles. There's no way of me telling how high this thing is gonna get me. And number one, there's no scaling it. They can tell you any type of number, but there's no coming down from that. I never liked edibles. I'm not into all of that stuff. Like I'm not like the druggies type of person. Because usually like with edibles, all that stuff usually is to numb you from what's actually going on. And me, I just want to be at my clearest. So I could be the best me when I'm presenting out to you guys. That's the reason why I don't even mess with no edibles like that. Because nowadays they can sneak fentanyl and all this stuff in there, and before you know it, your mind and you never go back to being the person you actually was because your mind got tripped out or something. I never ever wanted to fall in that bag, so I always kept away from like the edibles and stuff. And just kept it old school. I just know that if you burn something, it takes anything that's supposed to be in the way or whatever. It's more liable. You're not getting into no, head damage because somebody put fentanyl in it when you're burning. So I'm just not into all the edibles and all that. I know it sounds good for some, and I'm not knocking people who do it, but I just think it's just so the play. It's so many different drugs, and it's too many drugs. And then when you see the edibles, they look like candies for kids. It's like, what's the meaning of all of this? Like, so they have to be. I think they have to be another. It's gonna be another regulation rules on top of that because what we're realizing is some places weren't ready for the legalization as like other places were. They were more prepared. Some other places maybe the car accidents went up because people sleeping on the wheel. There's things that everything has something that comes with it, whether it's bad or good. It's gonna have something that comes with it. It's how we deal with it as people. That's gonna if it's gonna stay or if it's gonna stay the way it's going. So that's what I had on that. Um, but it's the morning. I want you guys to go out there, and for everybody that's dealing with trauma and have some mental issues that they wanna clear up, I put it like this: we all dealing with something in our lives, or people in our lives, or things in our lives that might be irritating to us, or may feel like it's holding us back, but sometimes that feel that something is pulling us back. When you look back there, it's God. It's God taking you in a different route. It's God saying, that's not what I had for you. Even though you think you love that, I have this for you, and this is what's going to happen. If we knew the end results of anything, trust me, it'd be easiest for us to just say, I want to do that. But being that we don't, we have to use our hearts as that GPS and just use our minds to do the right thing. Once you do the right thing on a continuous basis, guess what happens? All the right things start happening to you. All the things you wanted in your life start happening for you. That's why you have to clear your mind of all the negativity, even when it falls and lands on your lap. Make your best positive decision out of every circumstance that comes your way, and God is going to bless you. God is going to bless you. Trust me, God is going to bless you. But sometimes people look for blessings in like the form of money, and it doesn't always come like that. Blessings come in so many different forms. So sometimes you're looking at it from that way, and it comes from behind or comes from there. So just know that it is going to come, and be that person that you want other people to, look up to. Don't be the person that got to snake people, and the person they're looking up to is not even you. Be your real self. And Friday, do what you got to do to get where you got to go. And then when you come back, you make sure you smiling, dressing good, feeling good, smelling good, love on your partner, and you're going to be all right. I'm about to get out of here. I love you guys. You guys make sure y'all support the brand Inspired by Dreamzzz.shop. I have a lot of dope stuff up there. I got a lot of t-shirts, everything up there. Plus, I'm going to work. I have to do a couple designs for this weekend and just fulfill some orders. So you guys make sure you support the brand and make sure your day goes good. Don't let nobody tell you you're something you're not. Love what you're doing, and people going to love you. Peace.